For his head sculpt, we're gonna be a little bit lazy because we can afford it, taking into account his coloring. Obviously what I've done already is zenithal, so you want to start with a zenithal priming. And what that means is that you spray paint or airbrush first of all a darker color, a darker gray. I highly recommend this color because it's very nice. And then from the top, primarily from the top, you paint and spray paint or airbrush something lighter. I'm using red bone. And it will just give me those shadows where the areas are recessed and normally under the shadow. As I mentioned, because his color isn't exactly realistic, you can go with some colors that are a little bit more orange to give that radiation burn and tan effect. And I've looked through my collection. I've actually experimented with a handful of colors, and I think these two work the best. So either of these. This tends to be a little bit lighter, so it's a speed paint, which means it's acting exactly like a contrast paint. It's doing highlight, shading, and coloring in one go. This is a little bit darker, so you can't tell too much of the difference. So this is Peachy Flesh, and this is Fire Slayer Flesh. No? I'm applying them lightly, but all over, and let him dry. And it's just gonna give some nice effect. Again, apply whichever one you want. And let it dry. We're obviously gonna do some dry brushing with a lighter color afterwards, so it's not gonna go so dark. But this is a fine color to start with. Now I'm just gonna pick it up from wherever it pulled too much. You want it to pull because you want the color to be uneven, but don't exaggerate because we're still going for a realistic look, as realistic as this can get. But we want him to look like a human, not like cartoon. Yeah, so I'm still gonna pick up colors strategically. And this will give me, I have a napkin here, so I keep on washing. I pick color up and then I'm wiping on the piece of paper. And you see what's happening, it's starting to give me some unevenness, which is what we want, because he has been exposed to radiation, obviously everything is gonna look very patchy. Around his eyes we're gonna go darker, we're gonna go with earth shade, a grass earth shade actually, but once it's dry we're gonna use that as shading color, because I want that way darker. But for the time being, I just want this base. In all fairness, this is enough, so you can just leave him like this. It's pretty much exactly what we need, but I think we can take it to the next level. I want to put some reds, a little bit patchy red, but apply the color and let it dry. In terms of a dry brush, we're gonna be using quite an odd shade. It's normal and the flash shade. Look for anything similar. It's like salmon pink, salmon orange. So you can see how it looks now. It's an odd color to dry brush with, but this actually starts playing into the color theory. You can see the color, yeah? Because I have this base that's a little bit more cool tone, the moment I start dry brushing with this, it's just gonna get highlighted in the most, let's say, natural way, if you can go for natural with such a look. No? And it's gonna give him even more of that, let's say, toasty look. The idea is that we assume he has scars, so we'll have to play around a little bit. Because if you look at scars, so if you look at the scar I have on my finger, I hope this is focusing on my finger, you can see that it's lighter as well as shiny. So we will be playing a little bit in trying to get those. Luckily, a lot of them are already sculpted in, so once you dry brush, you're just gonna be able to capture them, and then we just have to come with the sheen. But you see what this color is doing on that cool base. They will balance each other out in a way, complement each other. It's just gonna start looking, as I mentioned, a lot like a person and not like a cartoon character. Oops. Now I still want to go a little bit lighter and get the finest details, which means I'm gonna use cobalt skin. No idea what this is focusing on, I hope it's focusing fine. So but Cobalt's skin is obviously very, very light, so wipe it well, and then start from the back just to make sure you don't get something too intensive. Cobalt skin will now capture the scars part and make them light. Lighter. Light hand, I'm keeping the brush away so that I wouldn't accidentally put too much pressure. Yeah, I'm gonna focus primarily on any scars that I want highlighted, and as always on the center of the face, because his neck is so beautifully sculpted and it will be visible. I want to enhance those neck fibers and his ears and something like this. Obviously it's gonna wear a hat, I think, so you don't need to bother too much about the head. Yeah. Now I want to do some more let's say damage effects. I'm gonna use Carroburg Crimson, which is this purplish color. And I'm gonna take a sponge, if I can find it. I'm gonna use one of the little sponges, so you can use a piece of paper. And randomly, wherever you feel like. It's a wash, so don't worry that it's so dark. Yeah. You can put some color and then wipe it off. Napkin, sponge, anything you want. I think the napkin would look better. So maybe like. That was probably not the best idea. Now his nose is too red. Yeah, so sporadically where you find some scars, just put some reds. Maybe this brush is better. Yeah, so I've got more control with this brush and it's not picking up that much product. It's a color I want to use on his lips as well, because it's that reddish purple that we're normally using, so I'm fine with using that on his lips and messing it around. I'm going primarily where there are very recessed areas, and the idea that they are very burnt, very wounded. Now I'm gonna go with a grass earth shade just around his eyes, because I still want them darker. They just look very dark. So and that's pretty much it with the skin. We just need to do some something on his teeth and obviously the eyes. I mean, this is not a complicated model to paint. Teeth-wise, because they're very yellow in the movie, we're gonna use something like this color. So either you have, this is charred bone from Army Painter. It's called a base, so I don't know. You can use this one, although that's dark sand from Vallejo that we have been using before. We're gonna do some, let's say, bits and spots, especially on the top, with something lighter. And then I'll be applying skeleton hold all over to tie it together, because you don't want white teeth, that's the idea, and you don't want uneven teeth. I'll have to get up close because they're very small, although it's a bigger model. So I'll need to put on my magnifying glass and paint them. So that's the first step. I'm gonna be applying charred bone all over his teeth. The whole idea with teeth is to take your time and paint them individually. So you see how I'm painting them. I'm following, it's difficult to see because I'm far away now, in order for the camera to catch something. But that's the idea, don't paint them like this. Don't cover with paint the separation between the teeth. This is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So here are his teeth painted. As I mentioned, pay attention and do it properly. Teeth as well as eyes are one of those things that if you make them sloppy, it's gonna make the whole model look sloppy. Now I'm taking a lighter color and spotchy just now and there. Yeah, you want to apply a lighter color, especially towards the top, so to mimic like he doesn't have all yellow eyes, and give it a little blend. You can see what I'm doing. Yeah, so I've applied some white, then I'm wiping off the brush and patting it around. Patting it around so I can blend the colors. And then, as I mentioned, I want to tie it together with skeleton hold. not. Applied more like a wash, so just lightly. Yeah, and I'm kind of happy with his teeth like this. The only thing I feel I may need is a little bit of more darkness around his gums. So a little bit more of that purple that we have been playing with. Beautiful. Now, obviously we got the eyes left. And that's pretty much it. I told you it was an easy model. What I have been doing to make my life easier, and I've been doing that on all the models lately, is that in ZBrush I'm doing a live boolean with extraction with a cylinder. That's why I'm marking down the pupil. The model itself doesn't have that, so either do it in Blender, in whatever editing software you know or can use. I'm just doing this to give me a guide and make my life a million times easier. Yeah, because this is what will happen. The other process is the same, meaning you want to use a black color, so either Black Templar or Black Legion, to highlight, to line his upper lash line. If you look at the pictures from the movie, from the TV show, his eyes are actually very human, and he's got eyelashes, which you wouldn't necessarily expect with this coloring. So we're gonna try to mimic that. I'm gonna do the lash line, line it with a dark color, and then the white of the eyes, I'm gonna do it with a shark white. Come on. How is it focusing on? Shark white from Army Painter. I've started using Black Templar lately instead of, let's say, pure black, because I feel it's a little bit more realistic looking. I'll try not to move my arms. Our hair that we have on the face, it's never actually dark black, even though it may look black. There are very few people with actual black hair. It's more like a dark brown or taupe color, and that's the color you want to mimic. Obviously, the smaller the figure that you're painting, the more intensive colors you want to use, simply just for them to show. You see? But with this level, because it's a bigger one, I think Black Templar will be just good enough. You can see the difference between the two. Obviously doing the same on the other part. Shark white. And you're gonna fill in the white of the eye. I'll try to do it again like this, just for you to be able to see. Just a little bit. Keep it more like this. You see how I'm applying it, small strokes. I'm keeping the brush at around 45 degrees to the model, and small strokes, and try to get all the very close to the line. That's why you need a magnifying glass to get up close. In the inside of the pupil, I'm just dropping some dark color. That's why I'm extracting a cylinder. So I have no idea what this thing is picking up. Yeah, so I can just put this in. Those are the cats fighting. We have a new one. So I'm just putting the tip of the brush in and making it dark. If I messed around as I did now because I couldn't get up close, I'm just gonna take the white shark and color it all around it. Yep. So like this. Now I'm gonna move to the watercolor pencils, and we're gonna start off with black. He seems to have hazel brown eyes. I initially thought he had brown eyes, but he doesn't. Blue eyes. So the first model I ever did was actually with blue eyes, which is wrong. His eyes are definitely more hazel brown. So we're gonna be using this type of colors. The outline of the eyes. Where's my brush? I'm gonna move on to my trusted 15x0 size brush. It used to focus better. I don't know why it's not focusing so well anymore. It's a 15-0 brush. Yeah, this is what I'm using, Borciani and Bonanzi. And I'm gonna start with a black pencil outlining the iris. How I'm doing this, I hope now at least it will focus on his head. Again, small strokes, so I have put a little bit of paint, and small strokes. You just want to follow the outline that the model has for his eyes, if he has them. If not, around the pupil that you already have, just draw a circle. Yeah? You can mess up because it's watercolor pencil, so don't bother too much. I'm obviously don't. And this is what you want to do as a first step on both eyes. The purpose at this point in time is just to get them the same size, especially if you don't have them sculpted in to have a guide. And to make sure that the pupil is symmetrical, so it is. Now what I'm going to do, clean the brush. So what I'm having here is just water. Yeah, I'm wiping a little bit of brush, and you see here I messed up. I'm gonna go into with the brush and lift the color. You wipe it on a napkin. You lift the color. You wipe it on a napkin. That's the process. It's nothing complicated. Yeah, I need more suction, so I need a thicker napkin. Now, I like to clean inside as well, as much as possible. You wanna start with a nice base. What I'm seeing is that I've done this lower than this, so I need to decide. I think I'll have to go with this one lower, meaning I'm deleting now the butter rim. take the brush again. Although I feel this is better. Go an idea lower. I think this is fine. With the brush, correct the shape. Yeah. With the brush, wipe a little bit, correct the shape. Now, because he's got brown eyes, brown hazel eyes, primarily towards brown, I'm gonna use a dark brown, and we're gonna be applying it on the top and around the perimeter, stronger on one side. Decide where do you want the reflection, the lighter part or the reflection. I will want it here. So I'm gonna be applying more on this part and very lightly on this one. Doing the same on the other eye. That's why I'm saying get up close. It's more difficult on camera, but I'll manage something. Something like this. Now, because I do want to add that green, I'm just soaking my brush in green and starting with the perimeter where the highlight is, I'm gonna put some green and blending it inwards. Clean brush and start blending the colors one in another, soft transitions. I put too much water on the top part of that, so now I'm just gonna go into the two colors. And you see, add some more color here because it became too light. At this point, you just play with colors however you want them to look. When they have hazel eyes, the green part tends to be more towards the center. So I'm applying this green more towards the center. Now, because I've lost my highlight, clean brush. See, I'm lifting again some color. So I'm wiping it a little bit, not to have too much water on, and lift the color. See? Same here. This is heavy and not dry enough. That's why it's behaving like this. I used too much color on that one. Can play with, I don't know, some lighter colors, lighter shades to blend them in. On red eye, on brown eyes, shades of golden brown or even red look really nice. So, for example, we can apply some of this. And then with a semi-wet brush, blend the colors together. I feel I still want some more darkness around the perimeter, meaning I'm gonna take my dark brown again, even mixed with a little bit of black. And go again around the margins. The margins and the top. Yeah. Now I have to get up close and off camera to clean up the edges. Now, yeah, this is cleaned up. We're gonna go back to the watercolor pencils and we're gonna do the red in the waterline. I'm still going, as we mentioned, with a more realistic look. What color is missing? I'm missing a color here. So now I'm just gonna take a red, Q-tip. You'll need a Q-tip for this, and start by putting it in his tear duct. And drag it slightly around the lash line. And at the end of the eye, you can go a little bit more intensive again. So tear duct, drag it slowly, more intensive in the, yeah, you can see the difference between them. Be careful with this, yes, because we're using pencil on pencil and this is wet, so don't drop paint in, don't drop water in, because you risk ruining the eyes you have painted. Yeah, it's important to get the tear duct red, because this makes a lot of difference, and the corner of the eye. Made some mistake here because I'm trying to keep camera as well, so I'm just gonna blend it out. Actually, don't mind, I'm gonna get this red around. And this is it with this part. I think the head sculpt is pretty much done now, except for the fact that we need to... Really curious what color is missing. We need to get some of that gloss in, because I mentioned scars tend to have this gloss. In theory, he's burnt all over, meaning I should have a more glossy skin tone than regular. And for that, I'm just gonna apply more intensively a varnish, which I don't have here, so I'll apply it and come back. So I made him glossy with Monitorium varnish. I still don't want to go full satin or glossy all over his skin, but I have applied more of this than I normally would. You can see he's quite shiny in some bits, and you just apply it, yeah, in short bursts. This is how I apply it. Let him dry a little bit while this is drying. You can do something else. And obviously the last step will be to get the gloss, put the gloss on his eyes, lips, and you can put some gloss easily on some scars. Okay, so now it dried. I was actually planning on using him on this bust, which came with this head sculpt, which is a very nice head sculpt, but I think the lightness is it's a little bit better on this. And as I mentioned, what we're gonna do now, this head is not separate, so I obviously had to drill it down and then drill down the rest to fit. That's why I'm messy all around. We're gonna use technicolor coat. Put it on his eyes. I'm patting it on. Yes, you are not dragging it across. Now, okay, now we have sealed quite well with the Monitorium varnish, but just get this as a reflex. You want to pat it on, you don't want to drag it on. And put it wherever the eyes is. Put it on his teeth. And we can put it lightly on his mouth, and as I mentioned, strategically on some scars. Now and then you can put it. Now this head sculpt comes with a how do you call it, a head. This head sculpt came with a head, and I already painted it. You'll see the paint job for this one. I just put some blood because I made a mistake. Gonna use him with this one. I'm not gonna print another head, although it's not like a perfect fit, but it's good enough. And yeah, it's this base. As I mentioned, that one is nice, but the likeness for this one, it's a little bit better, so I think I prefer him like this. Let him dry now, because I let them dry in this position. You don't want the gloss to start dripping on his face or something. That's why I let him dry on his back. Perfect. Thank you.